Good morning everybody, and welcome to my local beach again. I thought I'd try a sunrise this morning, so I've come down this morning about an hour before sunrise. Checking my watch now, we're looking at about it's 20 to 6, sunrise is going to be 5 past 6. So we actually might get some nice real fine art ethereal pictures this morning with some smoother sea. So without further ado, let's get cracked on, let's get the camera on the tripod and let's get some images taken. Okay, I've had to change my position because of the lighting and all that. So basically my Z9 camera is going to be my go-to camera. I'm going to clip that on there. So inside my case camera bag is a filter holder. I've got a 3, 6 and 10 stopper, and I've got a couple of ND graduation filters as well. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is going to just stick this on the tripod with the carabiner. So we're going to stick on the filter holder. On the filter holder we have my CPL filter, which is on there all the time. So that's basically magnetic, just sits on the back of the filter. It's going to plunk down the back of there. We're just going to use not a 10 stopper. I'm probably going to be using a 3 stopper. So I only want something that's just very, very gentle. And the 3 stopper I think will do the job nicely there, which is a ND8 filter. So I'm going to plunk that on the front. And then on top of that I need to bring the sky down because the sky is quite bright. So let's bring the sky down there, and I'm going to put an ND graduated filter on there. So that's going to go on the front, and that'll hopefully bring it down and then even the sky with the sea. Okay, I'm just about ready to go, but I thought rather than trying to explain it, it's probably easy to show you. So I'm going to show you with my CMU. So this is my CMU, and what this does is basically shows you exactly what the camera is showing me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to literally put you straight into camera now. There we go. As you can see there, we're not a million miles off where we need to be now, actually, to tell the truth. So we've got the 3 stopper on at the moment. We've got 25 seconds, which is good. I'm going to take it to 30 seconds, F11, change my ISO up and down to get the desired effect on the histogram. Move the grad up and down, the grads as much as I dare do. And I think that's good to go. Let's take the first picture. That's off. Okay, so you can see the back of the camera now. This is what my setup is. You can see me CMU up there, bigger screen altogether. So I'm going to press play, and that's looking good there. So I'm actually going to put you back into camera now. I'm going to click onto there, and then that should put you into camera. So basically I can check the focus point. There we go, focus point is really nice, lovely soft water there. And check the exposure there. Exposure is literally just slightly burned out on the right side because of the sky, but that's not looking too bad at all. So let's come back out. So I think what we're going to do is going to bring that graduated filter down a little bit more. That's as much as I dare take it there at the moment. Check my focus point, and again bring it right down to there. Always about a third into the picture to get your focus there, and F11 will probably take care of the rest. So let that one go. Okay, that's just popped up there now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put it into play first, and it's really nice soft ethereal light there. I'm liking the look of it. Let's just check my focus point, which is looking absolutely spot on there. Look at that, that's nice soft water, isn't it? Really is like that there. That's lovely. Excellent. Check my display. The overall's okay on the histogram, but the reds are just poking out on the far end. But that's good to go. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to slightly change the position. I'm going to move that way just a little bit further and just change the angle slightly. And then I may move her over onto the other side. So let's move over. Right, so what's happening now is that it's getting brighter, so I'm going to have to take the 3 stop out, and I'm going to go to a 6 stop. And then we can set the camera up again. So once again, the camera's looking good, so I'm going to change my ISO up to 64, and my histogram is looking really, really nice now. So what I'm doing now, basically I've changed over to my 6 stop filter, and it's looking quite good there. So I've still got my F11, I've still got my 30 seconds, and all I'm going to do is just change the ISO to get my histogram at the right level. So that's looking pretty good there. So I think that's looking not too bad there. Let's bring the sky down as much as it there. That's good. And I think I'm going to move that to about there, lift it up slightly, and we're off. That's much better, that's much sharper. You can actually see the reflections coming in there from the sun on the actual board. So it looks really, really nice. Perfect, that's spot on. I can't resist it, I'm going to have to do one more. So I'm going to do one more in a minute this time. That's less sharp, but the water is really, really soft. Loving that, that's really, really nice. Excellent. Okay, let's do a check. I'm going to turn you off for a second. I'm going to press play. Okay, and you're now in camera. Now let's do a check on the focus. Hopefully that's okay. That will do nicely. Check the exposure. Spot on. There you go. Right, so what we're going to do, we're going to move over the other side now, guys. So let's take her over here. Okay, so what I did, I'm silhouetted at the moment, so I need to get you back in camera fast. So what I did, I walked over here, I've lowered the tripod slightly, and then basically I took a quick picture while I was moving here. So what we'll do, we'll have a quick look at that. I'm going to press play and bring him into play. And once again, let's just check the focus. Spot on, love it, that's beautiful. And then exposure, that's great there. And again, so I'm going to come back out there quickly. I need to do another one before that sun gets me. I'm going to come back a little bit further, check my focus again, and then I'm going to go again. I may get this one in 30 seconds, and this may be starbursting. What's happening now, we're getting a nice reflection of the sun coming down the water on the left hand side here, so I'm not quite sure what's going to come with this one. This could be quite interesting. Okay, let's have a look at that quickly. Okay, we're on play. I'm going to bring you back into camera. Okay, that's looking really nice. The sun is just starting to come in there. Let's just do a check on my focus. That's nice and sharp there. And I think that's not bad at all. So I think now, looking at that, I'm going to have to speed it up a little bit more now. And what I'm doing now, I'm bringing it down to what it was the other day to get those nice shots. 2.5 seconds, f11, and I'm just going to change the ISO to do my exposure. So I'm bringing my ISO down to about there, I think. That'll go nicely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for the water to go back. Come on, and it's going back now. And I did move the camera then, so what I need to do is put a slight delay on it. So I need to do a 0.5 second delay. There we go. And then do the same again, and then watch the water go back. And then me have a quick look at that before I bring you in. Okay guys, it's now 6:25. The sun is too high in the sky now. The colours started to go, and it's actually burning into the camera lens, so it's not working anymore. So once again, I've moved more to the left hand side, and I'm going to shoot the ground at a different angle, and I'm going to go back down to 30 seconds, and I'm going to be using the 10 stopper now, which I've already put in there. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put you into camera and let you have a quick look, and I'm going to set up for another 30 second exposure. So here we go, let's put you into camera, and that's lovely. So we're in camera now there, so let's take it to 30 seconds. 10 stops in there now. Let's bring it up to f11 again. Okay, that's 11 there, and let's change the ISO to get the desired effect, which will be probably about, I think there, that's not too bad, we'll go with that. I'm going to change my grad, bring my grad down on the left hand side just a little bit there. But try my polarizer, because we've now got side lighting. There you go, that's lovely. That's evened it off a little bit. And I'm going to probably, let's have a look at that ISO a little bit higher. And I think that will go nicely there. So let's just focus point. Find a focus point there, which is going to be that one. Actually, this is going to be my focus point here. That one there. Focus on there. That's good. And I'm going to take my first 30 second exposure. So let's see what this 30 seconds brings up. Exposure's just slightly underexposed. That's good. I like that. I'm probably going to crop in a little bit tighter this time. I'm just going to take my ISO down a bit more. There we go. And we're doing exactly the same again, and off she goes. That's looking really nice, that one, guys. That should be, I'm hoping that will be a really nice, soft, ethereal picture. Let's bring it into camera to let you have a quick look at it. I mean, it looks beautiful, doesn't it? Really, really soft. I'm liking the look of that. I'm just going to check my display. The focus point is spot on. I like that. And I'm going to check my exposure. Exposure is probably about 1/3 of a stop underexposed. So let's do another one, and we'll make it a little bit brighter this time. So again, all I'm going to do is just adjust the ISO. Bring my ISO up again, a little bit higher. Watch that histogram, and we'll give it another go there now. Off she goes. Excellent. I am glad I got up now. Yeah, I woke up at 4:30 this morning and I thought, oh, it might be a good sunrise this morning. Let's just go down and check out my favourite groin, eh? You're back with me again. That's going to bring me back into play. And that looks absolutely spot on there. I'm going to wait for it to come up on the monitor. Press play again so it brings you back into the camera. And there you go. So look at that. That's beautiful, that is. Let's just do a check on my display. Spot on. There you go, it's all in there. The red is burning through just a little bit, but the rest are okay. But that is nice. Check my focus point, and that's nice and sharp as well, so we can't go wrong with that. Check the water's really soft. So basically that's us done. It's a wrap for today. Thanks thanks very much for staying with us this long, guys. Much appreciated. If you like what you see, please feel free to like and subscribe. And then we're going to go back to the studio now and do a little bit of post-production. So see you there. Okay, and welcome back to the studio. We'll be doing the second part of the video now, which is going to be my post-processing for fine art, and I'll be using the images from this morning's shoot at Hornsea with the sunrise. We'll be using Lightroom and we'll be using Photoshop. Lightroom I tend to be using for my cataloging and then my basic edits, and then obviously in Photoshop I'll be doing the blending and the layering and all that type of stuff, the more in-depth stuff basically. But yes, so without further ado, let's get cracked on and let's get into Lightroom and let's start doing our images. Okay, and we're now in the library module of Lightroom, and we're just going to have a quick peek of the overview of the images that I took. I took about 22 pictures on the day. The ones that are in green are the raw images that are actually on the video. So we'll go to the first one, have a look at that. And that was a 30-second exposure, which was one of the first pictures that we did. And the light's quite nice. It's fairly flat. The sun hasn't come up at the moment at this stage, so you've got a fairly reasonable light. And they've got nice soft water with the 30 seconds there, so yeah, that's pretty good to go. And I think I then went to the edited image to give you an idea what it looks like when it's edited and cleaned up there. You can't do much more. This is about as much as you can go with, to tell you the truth, but there you go. That's quite nice there. I think from there I went to a 60-second exposure, which will be that one there, so you can see the difference with the water. See how smooth the water is on the 60-second exposure. Okay, and then coming back out of there, back onto the overall. So from that side we then walked over onto the other side of the groins and we had a quick peek there. So what I was trying to do was going to get the starburst of the sun coming through, but it's really pushing it. As soon as you start doing things like this, you're going to turn all these into pure black. You're going to get flare and all that type of stuff, but you've got to give it a go anyway. So once again, come back, we'll give that one a go, and then we tried another one there, and it wasn't too bad. If I go to the edited version, it's not too bad. It's got some nice detail in the groins there, and the starburst is just starting there. So go on to the next image, and that would be the next one that's edited there, and that's looking not too bad again there. It's got nice soft water with the 30 seconds. It's got enough detail in the groins and enough to hold it there, so that looks quite nice as well. But there you go. So come back out of that, and I think we tried a couple of fast exposure ones, so I'll click onto here. So these are 2.5, so I tried to get the same as what I did last week with the water going through there. It doesn't really work when you're doing it early in the morning. It is so contrasty, but we got to give it a go, give it a trial. Okay, so the final picture was when this got too harsh, I then moved over to the left-hand side and I went over onto this side here. But again, it's very flat, and I think the last picture gives you an idea. It wasn't too bad. It cleaned up there, got the detail in the groins there. It wasn't too bad. It is a sunrise, but as I said, this is the killer, this big blue sky at the end of the day. So what we're going to do today, we're going to go and clean this image here, which is going to be image 47, and that's going to be that one there. So the first thing I'm going to do is going to go into develop module, and here we go, we're into develop now. Okay, and then what I'll do then, I'll do my normal things there. So I'll basically do my whites and my blacks. So, but before I do anything there, that's where we are. I need to go back to reset and just show you how I do a quick cleanup on the images there. So that's pretty much the start now. Okay, so again, so we're going to go to the whites, the blacks. So I'm going to click the option key down, press the whites, push them up till they go too far, bring them back a little bit. All I like to do is probably just keep a little bit of space up there. So that's what I'm looking for. And then I'll do the same with the blacks. The blacks are okay at the moment, so I can push the blacks in and bring them back there again, and then just bring them into there. That's good. I want to bring the highlights right down, but there's not much highlights because it's quite flat lighting anyway. But we'll take a little bit down there, and we'll bring the shadows. So hopefully the shadow detail will pull up the groins a little bit more there. There you go. And then I can work on them and punch them up later on. A little bit of contrast, a little bit of clarity. I tend to use a bit of texture to bring the water smooth. So if you look around here, I'm going to use the texture tool. So if you watch it now, see it go all soft there. So that's made it even more softer there, just enhanced it a little bit more there. And I think that's pretty much good to go for that bit there. I'm going to bring the sky down a little bit. So I'm going to use my linear gradient. And again, there's not much I can do with this. I can just bring it down so far. There we go. And really it's this area here I want to get the main part of, so we'll give that a go. Bring it down just a touch, and that's coming down just a bit there. I think at this stage I'm going to bring the crop in, so I know what I'm working with. Click onto the 16:9,
Okay, so I'm going to bring it in just a little bit down to about here. That's it, that's my left of frame there. That's quite nice. And then obviously I'm just going to get my horizontals correct, which are there. That's good. And then bring it down just a little bit more there. So we've got a nice diagonal line catching the eye. We've got a little bit of rule of thirds with all the information around there. So I think that's it there. Let's bring the sky down a little bit more. So we're going to go on to my linear gradient again. I'm going to bring this detail in here. Just bring a little bit in there. Nice and gentle. There we go. That's as much as it. If you go too far, it looks dirty. So you've got to just avoid the dirty bit. So probably about there. I'm going to use a radial gradient now. Try and get something in there. So we're going to go for that. Pull that into there. The whole width of it. That's good. Let's make the picture smaller. And then pull this right out. That's better. Move that a little bit more like that. Bring that into there. Let's line it up. There we go. And then gently bring it in again. Just bring it in. That's it then. Not too much. That's about as much as I dare do on that one. And again, we're back onto linear gradient again. Sometimes if you work on a picture that's small, you can actually see the things that catch your eye straight away. There you go. That's pretty good. So I think that's just done for that part there. Let's go down the bits here, and we're going to do a quick check on the focus. So all I'm going to do is just sharpen the image. So I'm going to go to sharpen. So I'm going to come out of there. That's that one done. Let's move down to sharpening. So once again, press the option key, showing the masking. So all I want is just the groin nice and sharp there. That's good. Take my focus up to about 100, so it's just going to be sharpening the groins only. I'm going to click in the profile. There we go. And that is it for that. All I'm going to do now is export. So I'm going to go Command A, and that should take it over into Photoshop. I'm going to click onto Photoshop down here. And it should pop up there in a second. There it is. Change the size because it's a large file, it's 100 megs, so I'm going to bring it down to image size. I'm going to bring it down to 4K size, which is going to be 3840. Okay, make it up to 100%, and there we go. That's nice there now. I'm going to press Command L, which is my levels. And again, I'm just going to bring that halfway down there. Might tick it up a bit too much. Bring my blacks in, and then even it off a little bit there. That's not too bad. Okay. And I'm going to go into Camera Raw, where I'm going to press Command, Shift, and A. That brings that in again. So once again, I'm just going to I'm going to warm it up a little bit. There we go. A little bit of color there coming in there. I'm going to use my color mixer. So they'll use this tool here. So I'm going to click onto the color I want to enhance a little bit. There we go. Maybe bring the blues down. Since the blues are there, might as well go for them. That's good. And that is coming in now, so I go OK on that. Let's bring the linear gradient in again. Come down to here and bring that down again like so. And I'm going to have to do another linear gradient. Bring that down to that side again, so there we go. That's it. Okay. And then I'm going to press my levels again. So I'm going to bring this in. I'm going to push this up a little bit more, so bring the color in a bit more like that. So I should use the whole histogram. There we go. And then use my middle part just to get it looking about right there. That's looking good there. So that's as much as there go. I'm getting a little bit of banding now, so I'm just trying to minimize that. Okay, so all I want to do now is lighten up these groins. So I'm going to use my select subject, which is very, very accurate, as I say, but it does miss some groins, so it's going to work hard doing that there. So it's got all of these ones here. It's missed that little one there. I can use this tool just to expand on it, and I can just go into there. So we can go like that, and again like that, and there, and I think that's it there. So this bit here. Okay. I'll do these separately. I'm going to go Apple J. That's that done. Let me just do this one another way. So what I tend to do is sometimes I'll just highlight the area just so it knows what it's looking for. It doesn't matter if it does this again. And I'm going to press Apple J on the background layer. There you go. And then I'm going to press select subject again, so it's only looking in just that small layer there. So if you take this off there, and there it's already got just that area. So I'm going to press Apple J again, so that the area that was in the square that I selected from, I can put that in the bin, and then I can join these together and merge them. And that's my groin sorted. So while I'm on the groins, I may as well try and lighten them up. So I'm going to go Command Shift A to go into Camera Raw. I'm going to be using light. I'm going to use my shadow tool to pull the detail up in the shadow with a little bit of exposure. There you go, it's coming up there like that. Needs a little bit of contrast. Prefer to put a little bit in effects and put a little bit of clarity in there as well. That's lovely. And I think that's not a million miles off there. Let's have a look at that. A little bit of colour in there as well. So I'm just going to warm the groins up a little bit because the sun's supposed to be on them, and then go OK. And then let's have a look at that sticking on there now. So again, while it's on there, I'm going to press Apple L. And same thing again, I'm going to bring this bit down, make sure that the bottom bit's on there, and then bring it in so it looks like what it should be about there, I think. That's good. Okay, that's good. If you feel like you've done it too much, you can always use your opacity, take it out, then bring it back in and just use it as a certain opacity. But I'm going to go full on for now because I'm just going to make sure that the bit that hasn't worked, I'm going to clear that off. So I'm going to get my rubber tool, quickly just go through like that. There we go, that's on 67%, but I'll give it full just for this video. But normally I'd do it at about 50% and do it nice and slowly, but we're on the clock. Come in there, bring that down to there, just so it's enough. Make it, the bigger it is, the softer it is. There we go. There we go, that's coming into there, that's nice. That's good. And then just do these little bits around there, that's good. And I think that's it there, you can see it on this one. There you go, and on that one there as well. So, that's good. And that looks really, really nice there now. Again, I'm just going to bring in this area here. So, I'm going to go back into Command Raw. So I'm going to find the background again there. Command Shift A again. And we're just going to bring a big radial gradient in there just to bring this detail in here. So because it's been selected, it's not going to affect the groin, so it doesn't really matter on this one. So this goes to here. Let's pull this highlights down. Highlights down and then exposure. There we go. And I want to go into texture and soften it all out a little bit more. There we go. And I think I'm going to do the same on the other side. Going to create a new one, new linear gradient, a new radial gradient. So I'm just going to go over here. Going to do this area here, but because the groins are already selected, it doesn't matter. So I'm looking at the water basically. So I'm just going to go a little bit darker there. But again, I'm going to put the texture on it just to soften the water down a little bit more. And then the final bit down here, I'll do another gradient. And that is going to soften all the water down nicely there. So same again. Let's find my texture. That's it. There we go. That's lovely and soft now. I'm going to go OK. And then you can see where I've gone over it. That's lovely. That's nice. And I think that is about it really. There's not much more I can do there with that. It's pretty much as good as it goes. It's still a bit bright around here. Gosh, got to keep going back at it. Again, radial gradient. Make it smaller. It's what catches your eye, isn't it, really? And that will do for that. So into there, bring it down a little bit. There you go, that's good. Go OK. And I'm going to flatten that. And that is good to go. So File, Save As. Just call it. So I'm just going to put Edit, call that. Save that to the desktop. And save it as a JPEG. There we go. Okay, so is there a blend in there? I don't know. Let's give it a go, shall we? Let's have a look at this. What I'm going to do quickly, I'm going to get rid of this because this won't work with a blend anyway. So I might as well remove it now quickly. So I'm going to click onto that. Use my remove tool, stick that to there, and that should do that. There you go. Come back out. I'm going to go in quickly. I'm just going to take the sky. So I'm going to quickly use this rectangle tool, take that over to there. And go to there, that's my sky. I'm going to go Apple J on that. Apple T, which is edit transform. So I'm going to go and do that, but I'm going to make the distort. There you go. So I'm going to bring it down to here. So it's going to go slightly over there. That'll be about there now. So we'll have a quick look at that. Okay, I'm then going to make that into a 75 so I can see where the lines are. And before I do anything else, I need to copy the background. So I'm going to turn that off quickly. Again, I need to select. So background, select the groins quickly. Subject quickly, that's lovely. It's working hard. There we go. And it's got all of them this time, so I'm going to do that quickly, let one go. And then I want to get this bit over on this side, so I'm going to go to here. Let's do this side here. I'm going to copy and paste this area. And then do a subject select on that one quickly. And it should pick all them ones up, which it does. So again, do that one there, put that in the bin. Just make sure I've got the right one and put in the bin. That's the one I put in the bin, that's lovely. You can tell straight away when you see them. So I've only got this one groin to find. So again, I can do that old school, which I'm going to do here. Just click onto there. There we go, that's it there. Apple J. And then I'm going to join those groins all together, merge them all together, go up to the top here, click on merge layers. And then you can see, turn them off. You can see they're all on there now. So the first one I'm going to do now, we're going to come back into this tool here. Is put the groins above the blend. Okay. And then I'm going to put a mask on this one quickly. Click on the mask. Go into this tool here. Let's get my gradient tool on there. That's lovely. Going closer. You've seen me do this before. Just going to put this on, hold it there, press the shift key down, bring it up to there, and just don't go above the line. Just keep underneath that line there. That's lovely. And then go back over and have a look at the opacity on it now. Take it back to 100%, bring it back, and you've got a nice gentle blend of the sky there. So yeah, some people may like that, some people may not. So I'm going to flatten that. I'm going to file, save as, color B, save that to the desktop, and that's that one. Right, last week I had a really good week. I was at the same location. I had some really nice clouds. So I think we may, just for the fun of it, we'll put a cloud on top of there and we'll see what it does with clouds. So I'm going to close this one down, open up the original color. Okay, go to the desktop, open up the original that I saved, back into Photoshop there, and there it is there. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to have a look at my clouds from last week, which is in my clouds folder, and I think it was this one here. So I'm now going to open that one, bring that into Photoshop. Okay, so it matches not too far off actually. So again, I'm going to bring that, select all, copy. I'm just going to stick it straight in. There we go. And let's have a look at that. Get rid of that. Okay, so make this small, and then I'm going to go to transform. Let's bring it down and let's have a quick look at what we've got. So I'm going to bring these clouds into here. There we go. That's looking good. So I'm going to bring that across to there. So it was exactly the same location, but as I say, the clouds were different. But these will actually probably match, believe it or not. And just bring that over the top of there. So we're going to do a blend on the clouds again. So let's bring this down to here. Okay, quickly do that. Coming down to there, and I think that's where we're going to go with it really. So I think that will look quite nice. That. The only thing I'm going to do there is I prefer this highlighted area to be on the other side there. So I'm going to try and spit it around. So literally I'm going to go into Edit, Transform, and I'm going to flip it. There we go. And that's pretty much ready to go and do with spitting clouds there. So I think I'm going to bring that to about there. That's it. Let's have a quick look at that. And we're going to go there. That's it. So that's done. Before I do anything again, turn that off. I need to mask. I need to get rid of this quickly because this won't work. So I need to go in close. Let's get rid of that quickly. Okay, I need Photoshop to show in the background. There it is, and it's been remove tool. Let's get rid of this quickly. Into there, that's good. And that'll disappear in a second, that's good. And then I'm going to go to select subject, and it's doing this a bit now. It's working hard, working fast. That's good there. So look at that, see what is selected. So it's got all of them there quite nicely. That's good. It hasn't got this bit, but it doesn't matter that because it's going to come from here anyway. So I'm going to go Apple J on that. So it's got those parts, and then I just needed to select this top part of groins up here as well. So bring this up here and just select those ones. So again, background layer quickly, press Apple J, and then select subject from within that small area there. And you can see it, it's only doing it from there. It's already got it, Apple J there. Then I can chuck that in the bin. I'm going to merge these two quickly and merge those layers there. That's lovely. Let me have a quick look at it. Turn it on, turn it off, so you can see it kicking on there. There you go. So they're all in there ready to go. Okay, so all I need to do now, I need to put the groins above the clouds. I need to mask the clouds. I need to get my blend tool there. I need to go in close. Let's just do a quick, take this opacity layer down so I can see where the lines are. Let's bring it to here, press the shift key down, up to there, don't go past the line, hold it steady, that's good. Come back and then bring my opacity back, and then look at that. Look at that, amazing. So all I've got to do is go in close on the left hand side just to make sure that it's blended right on this side, so it's not messing around with that. And that, believe it or not, that's actually doable. That looks like it's real. That looks really, really nice. I like the way that blends really nicely. That's good. Okay, so I'm going to flatten that. Save as. And I'm going to go clouds. Go to the desktop, save that one there. That's it. Okay, and back into camera raw. So we can work on this now. So again, this needs to be darkened down now. So we're going to start creating some nice stuff there. So again, I'm going to use a radial tool, I think. Just going to bring it in gently. That's lovely. And that's looking good there. I want to get into the end now quickly. So that's looking good. Bring that down just a touch there. That'll do. Let's do the bit from the top. Create a new one. Linear gradient, come from the top. That's nice. Come down there. And I think that's not a million miles away. And then do another linear gradient from the bottom, just to get your eye in there, bring them back in. That's lovely. And that works for me. Gonna go OK. File, save as. And I've actually already saved it, so I'm gonna go cancel, save. Right, let's do a half color now. So I'm gonna keep all this again, and then I'm gonna make it to black and white. So once again, I'm gonna have to do the selection mode again. Select the subject again. It doesn't matter about this bit here. Right, that's it. That's all I need there. I think that will do. I'm going to press Ctrl J. And then underneath that, I'm going to turn it to black and white. So I'm going to go back to Photoshop, which is the old one. I'm going to use, you can hover it over. You can see the difference between matte. There you go. Cool. Sepia. And then you can put it onto strong, which is what I like. I'm going to add to that. I'm going to come into this one here and put a gradient map on top of that to give it a bit more punch. That's obviously too much, so just got to go to the classic mode. There you go, that's nice. And that's working really, really well there. Quite like that. And I'm going to flatten that. And again, just going to check the bottom of that there. It's going to burn that out just gently because it's obviously not working that well on the bottom of there. So we're just going to gently take that, control that. So I need to come back again, back to history, onto layers, and then come back. It's that one there. It's just going to bring this into here. There you go, that's the one. That's what I want to do. I'm just doing it really fast, but to give you an idea what I'm doing, just so it doesn't stand out that it's a blend mode there. That's lovely. That's good. And I think that will do there. and come back out there. That's good. That's nice. And I'm going to flatten the bottom bit. Okay, let's punch these up a little bit. So old school. So what we're going to do is make these clouds look nice. So that's going to go around there. Put a bit of contrast in that area. So Command J, Command L. Okay, and then we're going to go like that, and then bring the highlights in, and then bring it back so it catches your eye nicely. That's lovely. And do a little bit around here as well. I think this will be working. This little bit should work quite nicely just there. And again, Command J, Command L. And then bring the bottom clouds into there, bring the top bit in there. I used to do this in my wedding days just to punch the pictures up a little bit. That's lovely. And then a little bit more around this area, put a bit of detail in, that's cloud there. So again, find the bottom bit, Command J, L, there we go. And then we're getting some nice effects there, that's lovely. So the clouds are punching in nicely there. Okay, now what happens is that this bit here is a little bit burnt out. So I'm gonna have a quick look at this. So I'm gonna bring this bit around there, Anything that looks like it's too much, I'm going to press Apple J, and then I'm going to turn that to multiply it. There you go. So it's multiplied it there to bring the highlights in. I can then take the opacity down, take it out, and I'm going to bring it back in slowly. There we go. If I don't need all of it, I can just rub off the bits that I don't need. And you can see what's going on there. There you go. Big soft brush, just to take it out that way. That's good. Okay, so that's it there. I'll show you all of these together. Flatten them, merge. Turn them off, turn them on. So it just gives that little bit of punch. And then let's have a look at that. So flatten. There we go. And then I'm going to go back into Command and do an overall one now quickly, make it small. So I'm going to slightly vignette it. So we're going to use the radial again, click onto that, and then just have a quick peek on the radial gradient. That'll do there. Invert that. There we go. And then just darken it down just a little bit. You can just see it kicking in there. That's nice. And go, okay. That's lovely, that. I love that. Okay, I did spot something that didn't take quite well early on there. Just going to sort that out quickly. So that's just a quick tool with the clone tool. Hit that there. Make it small, even smaller. There you go. So just go down and match that there. There we go. That's nice. Done. Come back out. And that is it. File, save as, HC. And I haven't half colored it. I haven't taken the half color, but I quite like it as it is now. I think that looks lovely as it is like that. So there you go. Let's bring that back to there. Let's show you what I've done today to give you an idea what we've been up to. The last one, as I say, with the clouds was a bit of fun, but the other ones were just as it was. Let's pull these ones up, stick all of them onto Photoshop and make it smaller, smaller, smaller. Okay, so that's the blended color, that's the clouds color, that's the black and white. And there you go. So that's looking really, really nice there. If you want to make this bottom left-hand side one, it's a quick fix. Literally, all you got to do is go into Photoshop, adjust, and it'll make it black and white straight away. As you can see it there like that now. Take it off. There you go. Watch this, and make it all black and white. There you go. So that's us done. I think that's another little blast there, giving you a bit of an idea what I do with my post-processing. And it's just whatever you like yourself personally, because anything to do with fine art, it's all really what you like at the end of the day. So, but yeah, that's it. So if you like what you see, please feel free to like and subscribe, guys. That would be much appreciated. Help the channel go there. And then we'll catch you on the next one.